Good afternoon. It is Saturday. Progressing on the Eagle and I have reapplied the templates. I have resprayed a white that's not not a clear, not a pure white. Some mixture of white. And now I am ready to take the templates off yet again to show you hopefully results that are closer to what I was expecting the first time. Let me go ahead and take these off, and oh yeah, that's much better, I can already tell. And I'll go ahead and take these off and then show you the results. And here you can see the results after I have taken all the templates off, and this is what it should have looked like in the first place. Much happier with the contrast, or should I say the lack of contrast, this time around. I'll just chalk it up to lesson learned, but and if I hadn't done all this backtracking, I might have had this done by now. But sometimes you just have to make the mistakes before you realize that there was a trap you could have fallen into. I never saw the trap until I fell into it. But water under the bridge, and now I am ready to finish the construction part of this. Now there's still some, see, that just looks a lot better. I've got to touch the those little engine bells with some silver, and obviously there'll be some more weathering and detailing to do, but now that I've got the main portions done, I just like the look of that. That's just sweet. Now I can do the next round O construction and get that much done, and maybe get the side pods in. And now I think after I get the gluing done, the next thing to do is going to be the black vinyl bits, which is the window sills and window indents and the windows on the top of this. So that's the next step. Now I've got didn't glue that in, but I wanted you to see I have get behind this here. There we go. You can see the detail in and around the doors, and this helps it to look good even if you choose to display it without the cargo module even attached, or the rescue module even attached. You can make a nice looking model out of this. Now I'm going to bow to the decal sheet when it comes to adding the detail underneath here and the detail on either side of the module, even though the doors obviously don't line up between the module and the back and front portions. I'm going to put the cockpit decals in, but as far as the Maltese crosses here and the window inserts, I'm going to be handling that with black vinyl. And there is of course the logo decals. I'll be using those. Now these things here, which are meant to go under the landing gear pods, or going under the pods over the landing gear, I've decided to handle those in vinyl as well, and simply just by not painting that bottom box, leaving that the primer color. And then I've got black shapes to go. Get this under the light where you can see it. I've got black shapes to go underneath here to simulate this look. Now it's not, it's as accurate as the kit's going to be, and unless you're re-engineering these pods to do completely realistic landing gear, then you're going to scrap those anyway. But I'm trying to work with the model kit as it is provided, not how I would like it to be provided. So let's get to putting those other decals down, and then we'll see where we go from there. Starting the decal application on the bottom. Generally, I gotta tell you, I'm generally not a fan of decals where they try to give you the faux illusion of dimensionality, where they draw in the drop shadows and all of the shading for you. They have a tendency, to my eye, to look a little too cartoony. But I gotta say, these ones are not so bad. these ones I can see where they're aiming for, and they're pretty good. Now I'd have liked it better if their blacks weren't as absolute black, but they're not too shabby. I'm gonna spray a dust over them when all is said and done, so that'll knock down some of that. But I gotta tell you, you absolutely must put these on before you put these last little thrusters on the bottom. You would never be able to fit the thrusters or the decal around those thrusters without slicing it up into many bits. So please put those on first before you put the little engine bells on. And now I'm going to do the ones that go here, although I can't imagine them lasting very long with the wear and tear that when you rub these nubs here up against those walls that kind of holds it in place, it rubs right over those decals. So I may want to mark out those areas on the container so that I know the decal doesn't come in contact with it. More later. Here's the side of the cargo module, and I needn't have worried. Those decals, it turns out, are backed in white, but you know, doesn't hurt to be safe. But you know, the tiny bits are going on. I gotta say, I am kind of liking the let's zoom back out. I am kind of liking this faux 3D look, and it really is accentuated by how you paint underneath it. The decals are mostly clear, so however you panel the bottom or the back of the wall, that's going to be reflected through these decals. And I left my door a little bit wider than the rest of it, and I think it looked nice. But it's progressing nicely, and I'll check back in when I've got further along. The decaling is progressing nicely. I'm using the small black squares that come with the kit's decal sheet because while my cutter can cut shapes this small, I don't usually recommend it because they can be distorted. So no harm, no foul on using the kit decals for these. But the orange ones, these shapes right here, I guess it's number 12. That's the same color as the orange templates, so I've decided to use vinyl for those, and it's nice because it gives a shine to it. I'm going to continue to use these little, like I said, these black squares just for accent. But the orange that it's on the decal, or it's on the template sheet, you can use for, let me scroll back out, zoom, sorry. You can use them on these. You can use them to wrap around some of the piping. I used the decals on the engine bells here, but I think I'm going to replace these ones with the orange template sheets. But again, you can wrap them around the girders and whatnot. By and large, I'm really enjoying these decals sheet, though. They did a good job with the construction of them. Like I say, I'm not wild about the three-dimensionality of them, but the decals themselves are good and tough. I've got the logos on. I've got the little people inside, and I've got this cargo module, the rescue module, done. That really does fool the eye, though, at first glance. Now, they give you decals to do the, that's these ones here, to do these windows. And, you know, it's a 50-50 thing. If you want to use the decals, knock yourself out. But I am providing black vinyl for those, just to see, just so they're consistent with what's in the front cockpit module. But here you can get, now with a light on it, you can really get a good idea of what those shadows and shapes look like with the gray paint as opposed to that black paint. And on we go. One final update on the Eagle before we close this video out. Been applying the black vinyl to various bits and really liking how it's turning out. I did it under the landing gear there. And put the cross on there, the Maltese cross. And one thing I have not made a lot of mention of are the thrusters. Pardon the putty on the fingers. They have yet to be painted and put on there. But in order to fit the vinyl on, I had to nip all but just a little stub of that positioning pin. It used to go all the way to the top, and I had to cut it off except for just this little bit in the center so you can attach those thrusters. I haven't glued the landing gear onto the pods yet. Cargo module's looking great. Rescue module. Decals are in place. Vinyl is in the windows. It's a good clean look. Not done on that side yet. Decals on the sides. They look pretty good. Main body. Now here's where the fun starts. Here is a window sill with decal in it. Here is the bottom window with no decal in it, but a framework. And here is the window with the frame, with the decal in it, and the vinyl. And decals on the nose from the kit, and decals on the bottom, both sides. Now this is what I was saying about using the orange vinyl. The little black dots are decals, but that orange is actually orange vinyl that is provided in the template set, and you can add those randomly as you want to the different pods. You can easily go overboard on it, so you know, see what works for you, take off if it's too many. But that's where we are, and we are exceedingly close to being finished. Here are the engine bells. I have yet to just glue those on the back and put these thrusters on the bottom, that sort of thing. Really close. Didn't quite get done this weekend, but got within earshot of it. So like I said, if I hadn't been for the delay of the having to repaint those, you would see that we would be done by now. But we're getting, I mean, you can really get the full idea of what it's going to turn out. And it should be done in the next day or so. So that's it for this weekend. I return you to your normally scheduled YouTube.